use the raise your hand method, I think. Yes.
That's gonna feel too much like school. I think we could just wait till somebody stops talking.
I think Jocelyn just don't want to feel like she in school.
Yeah, I don't. That's exactly what I said. What you say, Aaron?
I also don't want to feel like we're in
I think we
school.
could just wait till somebody stops talking.
Okay, fine. We don't have to. Oh yeah, we're live now.
Yeah, I don't. That's exactly what I said.
Somebody should tweet out the link.
I'm gonna tweet it, or Alana can.
Not y'all saying all this while we're on live.
Ain't nobody here yet. We good.
People are definitely here.
Yeah, like what do you mean nobody's here?
It's like 11
I don't think I can close out the Zoom, but I have this stream open in 2 windows.
Whoa, wow.
I'm struggling.
You don't
I
like.
don't see it yet, but
I don't see it on YouTube either.
I see
I see it. It's right here.
There are 19 people here.
Right here. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's me.
This is the chaotic energy we have, folks. So.
okay, I see it. I'll just use my phone.
Sorry, I'm trying to click. Forget it. We're gonna do this.
Guys, I forgot to go pee first.
Oh my god.
Louis.
Oh my gosh.
What a dumb bitch.
Wow.
Oh, you just finished the book 2 hours ago? I literally just finished the book 5 minutes ago. And that's actually a generous number.
Not generous.
7:40, I finished the book. My time.
It's important that I finished. That's the main thing.
Yes, you're right.
I'm gonna share the link now.
Oh, I just did.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool.
People retweet that.
It was being annoying.
Okay, so we're waiting for a few more people to get in, and then we'll maybe start at 5.
Not at o'clock?
It's 01
We're
now,
past
so
the clock.
I hate y'all. We in public. Everyone, say hey, how you doing? Introduce
Why
yourself.
don't you make me a moderator?
Okay, can I?
Why do you want to be a moderator so bad?
Because I want to see my name light up blue.
Oh, hey, I'm a moderator. Love that.
Next thing we know, someone's gonna get kicked out.
I didn't even do that.
When you can see my name light up blue.
Oh, Monet in Idaho. Love that. How's Idaho going?
Why is Monty not here?
Because Monty's at
Yes.
home.
Oh, you mean in the in the call?
Not the shady, at least you guys finished it. Oh no.
With the eyeballs and
Not
everything.
the shade.
This is a safe space. Let's not do that.
Someone just pointed out that we need to put our individual channels and stuff, but I think when we start, we should introduce ourselves with our hottie names.
We'll link
just so
the
people
hottie
know who we are.
playlist.
Bro, I don't even know what sort of hottie I am.
Actually, I'll just say
Bro,
Ghost hottie. We'll go with that.
yeah, that's good.
No.
'Cause I don't even be here, like, to be honest with you.
Monet said driving through pastures.
Pastures.
Love that for you.
That's a funny word to use.
Oh, Fat Rob's here too. Love that.
okay, I have the Hotties playlist saved. I don't know how y'all can see that on our channel.
Okay, let me see.
Put it in
I
the-
will link it. Chanel, what's so funny?
The ... Is that what you're laughing at?
Like, was that a breath? A pause?
And not a pause. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, why don't you start introducing yourself? Tell the people your name, what you do, something.
Yeah, you guys go.
All right, Zoe, somebody, please.
All right. What do we say? I'm
Just say your channel name.
I'm group chat mom Hottie from the channel Zoe's All Booked. I just finished the book about 20 minutes ago. And I don't know how I felt about it, but we'll wait for that. We'll wait for later.
Should we say our rating when we introduce ourselves? Just our rating or no?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. So what was your rating, Zoe?
maybe a 3 out of 5. I don't like literary fiction,
That's valid.
Oh, that's valid.
That's fair.
but I'm also like, part of me wants to say a solid half star, but also kind of 5 stars. So I don't know where I'm at.
Oh, I thought you meant 0.5 out of 5. I was really
Yeah, no, yeah.
1.8. This is what she was saying.
1.8.
Ciao.
Go Monty and do 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know.
All right, can I go next?
Yes.
All right, I'm Jocelyn. I'm college hottie, and my channel is Jocelyn Reads. I think it's the same as my name. And I gave the book 4 out of 5 stars.
Cool.
Alana.
Hi, I'm Alana. I'm Baby Hottie, and I gave. Are we saying our channel name? I'm sorry. My channel name is The Awkward Book Nerd, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Pretty sure.
Mayana.
Okay, my name is Mayana from Mayana Reads, and I gave the book 4 out of 5 stars as well.
What's your hottie name? Do people want to know?
I thought I said that. My hottie name is President Hottie.
Okay, Ben.
I'm Ben from the channel Positive Writer. I'm Ghost Hottie apparently, and I gave the book 5 stars. I loved it.
Haley.
I'm Haley. My channel name is Pages of Haley. I'm Shy Hottie, and I gave the book 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it.
Chanel.
Well, I'm Chanel from Chanel Time, and my hottie name is Clueless Hottie, and I gave the book 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it so much.
Yes, we love to see it.
Not the
Not
giggles.
the
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Erin, and my channel is Booked and Busy. And depending on the day, I'm Auntie Hottie, Deputy Hottie, Debbie Hottie, Toxic Hottie, just
Secretary.
depends on what mood I'm in.
Not toxic.
I am in between a 2 and a 3 star. We'll discuss it why, because I actually do read literary fiction. So we'll discuss my problems with the book when we dive deeper into it. So this is not a spoiler-free discussion. So if you haven't read the book, I would say like thank you for coming, but have a nice night. Unless you want to be spoiled. Would y'all agree?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we got some 5 stars. We got some me. In the middle.
I'm just
Well,
reading.
Zoe was in the middle too.
Monty gave it a 3 stars. He rated it higher than us. Me and Aaron.
I'm shocked.
What?
Especially given the issues that Monty had with the book.
Well, I can't wait.
Monty's rating system is
Don't make no sense, child.
I wish Monty was here, but
Anyway, does someone want to give the synopsis of the book?
Who's good
I
at
know, put y'all on the spot. That's why I said someone.
I can say it if you want.
Here's the thing.
Oh,
You
sorry.
have these 2 twin sisters that are super white passing, right? One of them is like, I'm cool with being black. And the other one's like, I'm a dumb bitch. I'm gonna pretend to be white. And then she just dips. And then you have their 2, it's like, it goes from the 60s to the 80s to a little bit in the 90s and then back to the 80s. And it's really fucking confusing the whole time. And then the 2 sisters each have a daughter. One is so black, they call her like blue black. And then the other one is white. She's hella white. She's blonde. She's the white sister the sister who dips and pretends to be white is like me. She ends up with a child with blonde hair and blue eyes. Nobody fucking knows how. So the two nieces, the cousins, not nieces, cousins, that's a fucking word. They end up meeting by chance. And then the one's like, I think we're related. And the other one's like, fuck you. No, we're not. And then it's a hot fucking mess. That's all you need to know. That's it.
Wow. Wow.
What a beautiful description.
You're welcome.
That does it for me.
Truly, you're welcome.
I just want to say, like, I didn't know this. Apparently, everybody else talked about it, but I didn't know. But like the fact that there's a trans character in this book and that starts like in 1950 something, and like it's a book that heavily deals with like colorism, racism, internalized racism. And I obviously am not a trans person, but from what I read, the way it was handled was like beautifully done. Like I connected with Reese so much. Like Reese and Early were my favorite characters in the story. And honestly, if I had got more Reese and more Early, less Stella, less Kennedy, I would have given it 5 stars, because like those parts of the book, I was but just like seeing.
That was a dumb bitch.
Kennedy
to
or
be
Stella?
Both.
Both of them, mama like daughter.
Both of them.
But like even just from the first sentence, like I left El Dorado to read something, and I got to California and I was Reese.
Yes.
And I was like, I had to go back and run it again.
Yeah, I was like, double take, like for real.
Okay.
I was expecting all that to go in a very different
Me
way,
too. Yeah.
just based on the time, but it was handled so well.
Beautiful. Oh.
Yeah, I was scared at
It was
first
better
when I
than
first
some.
figured out it was a trans character.
It was better than some books that I've read about like trans characters now, which is crazy because that was a time when it really wasn't acceptable.
There is no dead naming, no misgendering. Like
what? Wow.
There was dead naming once.
You're right.
There was
one time.
I
remember one time.
And I
but
love
it
that
wasn't like
it was not like assaulted anywhere in the book.
Yes. Oh my God, bro. I'm so sick of that.
Their identity was not like questioned by their partner. Like their boundaries were very much respected. I was like, okay,
yes, bro.
Yeah,
Brittany's a genius.
The support from the other characters was it was amazing. And then we had drag queens pop up.
Yes, like
very. I was like, I just like to wear those wigs sometimes. You got a problem with it?
Yeah.
Like all that, I really enjoyed that part. If we had more of that, it would have been a lot better. But just Stella.
To be honest.
Stella and Kennedy. I feel like they had too much.
I didn't care enough about them.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't care for Kennedy's portion of the book so much, but I will say I did enjoy Stella's portion of the story, not because of like what it represented, but because of like, I'm the type of person where if I'm reading about a character that's very complex, I like to understand what their mindset is.
Me too.
And so like, understanding her point of view and how things happened and why she thought like, these things needed to happen, like why she thought she needed to be white passing and all that kind of stuff, I like thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And I was annoyed by her as. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I definitely really, really disliked Kennedy's character. But what I liked about both Kennedy and Stella was the fact that they were very representative of a lot of people in real life.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was very realistically done. Like even if you hate them, you can't read that and then not like click in your mind like, oh my God, there's literally like I could name 10 girls from my high school that were exactly like Kennedy. That was like, whoop.
And I appreciate how realistic it was, because during that time period, like people who were very light skinned thought they were just kind of in a different place. Like,
I mean, that's still kind of now.
I mean, it's still
exactly,
now. It was a lot. It was definitely big back then too, because of the whole like they didn't want to be considered black, but they still couldn't really be considered white. But there were still more privileges they gained overall.
Community, which wasn't really a community.
Yeah, and that's why I appreciated Stella's points of view. Like I found Stella just as annoying as everybody else, but that didn't like hinder my rating, because I felt like that was the purpose of her, especially reading her as a Black person. I don't think, especially not a white passing Black person, I wasn't really going to relate to her, and I was going to be irritated by her, especially with some of her actions, but it didn't take away from my rating, because I felt like that was her purpose in the book.
I think like her purpose was very clear to me, especially with the part where she was like she would much rather like her husband think she cheated on him if the baby came out Black than him thinking she was Black. That's when I knew there's no hope for this woman.
I knew
that didn't make sense. The logic was not logicking for me, because
not logicking.
It wasn't. So from the beginning, when she was like, the scene with the dad took me by surprise. I was not expecting that. I was like, I had to like take a little minute, like, did I read that correctly? Because it was just like so subtle, just boom, boom. I was like, okay, got it. And so her reaction to that and her fear of as a result of white men, and then her marrying this white man, and then the scene where they're like in bed and she like is low-key afraid of her own husband because she's like remembering her trauma with white men. And I'm like, how do you
grab him harder? She's more into it.
So
Just
scared. Get into it. And
the thing
when
is, like,
she, as an actual person who is 100% black, when she called the other girl the N-word.
Oh, bro, that pissed me off.
Like, her anti-blackness was low-key made her suspect because everybody else was
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Everybody else was kind of just trying to be normal, and she was like so anti-black. Like, she sexted people on them and made them like throw bricks in her window after being her friend on some bull. Like,
you
man,
were depressed and sad, and this lady,
that was bull, bro.
Oh, you think we're friends? Her husband makes me really uncomfortable. You should go attack their family.
Literally, what the
fuck? Then slaps her own daughter because her daughter doesn't understand
and
why.
she's the one who called her that in her presence.
Yeah.
So there's not like she didn't come up with that word by herself.
No, she repeated what her mother said, and then she doesn't understand why her mom's upset, and then the mom slaps her and then turns around and is like, "I'm sorry, baby, I love you." Like, see,
she does not know what she wants, bro. Stella sucks.
Yeah. She was on her white mom stuff when she slapped her. I was like,
she was
like,
wait. You wanted that child the whole time. The book, you could tell Kennedy was just like a little afterthought. But okay, girl.
Right. She didn't go to none of her plays or nothing. Like, she didn't give a fuck.
She's a bad mom.
Yeah,
but
she wasn't very bad mom. See, like her internal struggle too, which was honestly, I was cackling at her fear. Like the fact that she was like, I won't hire black people because they'll be able to tell that I'm black.
That was so
and
funny,
so I
bro.
had to continue. I was like I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, this is messy. Because you know the black look that black people give each other, the look. I was like, imagine you're Stella, like out here trying to fool everyone. You're white, and you hire someone black, and they look at you and they know.
Right. And then they think it's like a safe space because they're black, and they're like, oh, finally someone's black. But Stella's really here, like,
Stella's the worst. She's not the one.
I had to convince she was a white woman because when Kennedy was sass talking her and ain't nothing happened, I was like, oh, she white for real.
Yeah,
like she literally turned white, like, but she spent her whole life pretending to be white. It's like she evolved into that in a sense, which is crazy. I think that adds to complexity.
And it's crazy because her mom didn't play that. Like,
exactly, like
she was not playing with them.
Where'd you get that from?
But I think that's what made the chapters interesting for me, because like you could clearly see how much she like hated herself and just like her how she was black, and she was just so willing to do anything to erase that, which is crazy to me to think like.
I really enjoyed the parallel between the moms and the daughter. Like Desiree was super strong-willed and sassy, and Kennedy was like that. And then Stella was like more quiet and to herself. And then Jude was like that. And so you can kind of imagine how it would have been had they actually known each other growing up, those relationships and how they would have been like really close. But just seeing each of them struggle with children who are so much unlike them, but like the sister that they don't have anymore, I was like, all right, I like how she did that.
Yeah, I really like that part too.
And it was interesting, like comparing and contrasting them. So like with like Jude and Stella, they both, or that was the sister's name, Stella, they both like struggled with who, like their skin color and stuff like that, and just like the idea of them being black. But where Stella could easily escape it because she was white passing, Jude couldn't. Like she had to deal with those like the bullying and like everything else that came with it.
Speaking on the bullying part, I found it really like interesting that her mom brought her to Mallard, that town, and then never took her out, like knowing the implications of bringing a daughter that dark there. And I understand maybe she felt like that would help her build character in a way, but I could never imagine bringing my dark-skinned daughter to a place like that after growing up there and knowing how that mentally is going to affect her. Like that made me dislike Desiree a little bit, just because and then she would lie to her saying that they're going to leave. She's been through, she had no friends, like. And as a mother, I found that very interesting.
And the fact that the whole time was basically just like being as white as possible, like, but not actually being white. Like, it was trying to basically make the lightest light, but not be white. And then you bring your dark baby, who they refer to as blue black.
Well, I heard
literally so many times within even the first couple pages. I'm like, dang.
Blue black, tar baby, black is night.
Oh my god, bro.
The daughter's
all of the names.
I'm more purple than blue. And it's is that the best thing to bring her there where they're going to reinforce these ideas?
Yeah,
exactly. And like the implications that come with that.
And beat up by her black, which is a choice, her very dark skinned husband.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't like that at first. I thought I wasn't gonna like the book because I didn't like how they made one dark skinned guy abusive. Of like,
yes, that part made me so mad. Like when I was reading it, and they were like, "Oh, her husband who was black, really dark, beat her up, and look at her dragging this blue black baby back." I was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a Tyler Perry."
Yeah, and it was a lot to commit to.
Like, I didn't like that.
Movie.
No,
the twins' mom just kept pushing it and pushing it. Like, you knew it was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna happen, and you still did it. It's like, what is wrong with all of these people? Like, the parenting in this book was so garbage. Yeah. Like, I kept reading it and looking at Carter and being like, nope, I'm gonna teach you how to love yourself. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna teach you how to be a garbage person like this. I was getting so mad, especially at Stella, because she's such a garbage parent the whole time.
She really is.
And
she is. Yeah, I think like her character, honestly, if like people reading, one reason why I thought like Stella was an important character was within her, you get to very easily see racism and colorism reflected in her identity as a white person and then her identity as a very, very light-skinned black person. So it's like you're seeing both, and then with her neighbor Loretta, like you're seeing Loretta live this life. She is a moisturized black woman living her life, being a slave queen, and you can just see Stella like boiling in jealousy. So it's like she's technically on the side of like, I can be racist and colorist because people think I'm white and then I'm light skinned, but she's still mad that somebody black is like living life.
Yeah, I found Loretta really interesting and how she moved in next door because she got everywhere that Stella wanted to be by being black. So that was really interesting, and I think that's why Stella was mad. Because Stella had to change who she was to get there. And then Loretta is right across the street, an example of that Stella didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and I think it's also the fact that like Loretta got to do all that and still be who she was and free, whereas Stella was trying to be free. By being free, she still caged herself because she lied about who she was. And so like even as the chapters went on, she was still like by getting an education, by trying to get a job, she was still trying to find that like freedom, but like it still wasn't working. She wasn't being her true self. She was still just lying about everything.
Loretta got all this without shacking up with, you know, her boss who was sexually abusing her and grooming her the whole time.
Ew, I hated the fact that she got with her boss. Like Stella's just the point of view like that I hated the most. Like she's like somebody who like
it was her turn. I was like, no.
I was like, because the whole secretary thing immediately turned me off. I was like, come on. Like,
and at the end, she's like, or closer to the end, she's saying like, looking back, I realize now what it was, and then just doesn't leave him. Is just like, I'm cool.
She's like, it's okay. Like, what?
Any type of agency over herself. I thought it was so interesting because she kept saying over and over, like, oh, Jude and Desiree like must have it so hard because of, you know, how they're still within the Black community, like especially Jude. And I was like, Jude is out here living her life. Like, yes, she has it hard. But like, Stella was the one to me who had like the most struggle, like in her mind. And, like, she was a mess. But she kept telling herself that things were better for her because like she like basically sacrificed all, like left all her family behind and isolated herself, and she's telling herself that it's worth it. And I'm like, you have the saddest part out of everyone here, like the whole mess.
Yeah, I think what did it for me with Stella too, like in the whole book in general, was that if you look at every single character, they're all trying to be free in some way. Like Desiree and then Jude like leaving that town after all, you know, like meeting Reese and all of that. And then like you have Stella, who honestly, the biggest lesson from that woman was that when you try to make yourself appealing to white people, you're gonna struggle. That's it.
That's exactly what I got.
Like that's literally what her character taught me, and that's why like even though I hated her, I feel like she's so important because she literally made me want to be like the blackest black I could possibly be.
No,
it's like, I was like, how black can I possibly be after reading this book? Because that's what I want to be.
Right? Because I feel like I feel like a lot of Black people try to like appease to white people, and like it's even kind of like instilled on us to like try to appease to white people. And like after reading that book, I'm like, because I code switch like a lot, even on my channel. So even after reading that, I noticed like watching my videos after that, I kind of like try to like make sure I'm me and not like me when I went to a majority white high school, basically.
And I find the town. Go ahead, Erin.
Women align themselves to like make, and it's part of like the culture and how people are raised, but align themselves to make things easier for men as well. So like seeing how that played out in both of their lives was really interesting as well, how like the men in their lives still control everything, that how they navigated, how they moved through the world, because Desiree she had a good life, she had a good job, she was established, she was living in the city, having, you know, she was doing okay for herself. And this one bad experience, I mean, not to minimize, but like this bad experience with this man completely altered the outcome of her entire life. And then I low-key think she was afraid, because even Jude was afraid later on in life, like any type of violence. And one time when her and Reese got into it, she like dipped, and he was like, I would never hurt you. But all of that things that happened, she never left Mallard again after that. That was it. She wouldn't even commit to a man who had loved her whole life and had always been there for her and supported her, her mom and her family, because of that negative experience she had with this man. So now she was conforming again versus Stella, who the first man that was nice to her and accepted her being white, and as long as she did what he said and, you know, looked pretty, okay, we'll do this.
Speaking on Stella being white passing and stuff like that, I found the town of Mallard interesting, and Monty touched on this a bit. We were talking before on Zoom before we got on live, but in the sense that they were mad that Stella was white passing when the whole concept of the town is to be as white as possible. And I just find it interesting that they're like, you want to be as close to white as possible, but if you actually try to white pass for your entire life, now they had an issue with it. And I'm like, then that made me kind of start thinking about what is the concept of the town, because I'm like, okay, are they using white passing as a means to an end? Like, I'll be white passing here to get some type of, just like get something out of being white, like to basically, what's the word? Benefit from being white, but then knowing that you're Black at the end of the day. So that's different in trying to benefit there. But at the same time, I didn't feel like it was that either, because when Jude came in, they were like, oh, she's all Black and this and that. So I felt like the concept of Mallard was a bit confusing to me.
It was almost like if you tried to pretend you were white for the rest of your life rather than just like in the pockets, you were almost like a race traitor. But Black people, like darker skinned Black people, were not the same race as them. It was like, let's be.
I mean, it fit the time period, because like I feel like during that time specifically, like light-skinned people, because they weren't dark-skinned, but they still weren't white, they still considered themselves their own type of race. So there was still like a type of privilege that they like kind of were able to get or expected, or even like not even privilege, but there was a sense of treatment that they didn't expect to get, because they were still more like white passing than obviously darker skinned people. So I feel like with that town, it was like we're gonna be as close to light as we can, because we don't want those repercussions that all the dark skinned people got during slavery. Like, we're done with that, but we're still Black. Like I feel like it was like a twisted mindset of like, how can we not like go back to slavery? Like, how can we make sure we're not going to be like enslaved again, but also like still be seen as Black? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, because that's how
me,
it's like a twisted mind. It doesn't make sense, but it's probably what they were thinking.
What were you saying, Mayana?
Yeah, like that's how I kind of viewed it, but it was more so in a way of like benefiting from both. So like they wanted to benefit from looking white and like getting, you know, good jobs and all that stuff, but also benefiting from actually being Black.
Yeah, like they probably
wanted,
oh, sorry.
One thing that I really found interesting was like the setup of Mallard is about benefiting from being white passing and being black, like Alana said. But from the beginning of the story, she kind of destroyed that with the dad. Like, yes, you are white, but
I think that was the point.
Same way.
Yeah, I think like the interesting part of the book was seeing how like different the sisters, like their trajectory went. Whereas one sister, they both hated the treatment they got for being light skinned, but one sister was like, well, I'm gonna get with a white man because it's gonna be like benefit me more, and the other one was like, I'm gonna get with a dark skinned man because I hate how people are fetishizing me as a light skinned person. It's like it's like they took different routes to completely try and like change the, I guess, treatments they were getting.
All from the self-hate. When that's the thing. Like, the self-hate.
Like, I think it's like, sorry, Aaron, go on.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that I think it's like wanting to eat your cake and have it too. It's like you want the claim of, oh, I'm a black person, but then you're the closest thing to what a white person would be comfortable around. So that's what Mallard kind of like made me feel like, because then like they just want to be like I don't want to like model black person, but the model of what a black person that a white person at that time and even now would like feel comfortable around.
Yeah.
You know, because they obviously didn't feel comfortable around people like Jude.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's kind of like how. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying it's like they took the paper bag test and was like, how
many
can we get that pass this test but are still black? It's like they were all like, we're too black for the white people but too white for the black people, so let's just make our own little community and just kind of, it's like they wanted to celebrate that fact, but it got so toxic that it was just like you couldn't be either one. You had to be this exact shade, a little bit lighter if you wanted to be like the cool kids, and maybe a touch darker if you wanted to be on the outskirts, but anything out of that, you were just not welcome with us.
They were excluded, and
so then Netflix.
They probably
not Netflix.
Giving me Netflix originals.
You're not wrong. You're right. That's
literally.
Oh my
God. Netflix is like paper bag. That's it.
Literally,
I've even had that happen like in my own life growing up, especially in Alabama. It's like, okay, don't be outside too long. You don't want to get black. You're getting a little dark, girl. Stay inside.
Oh my God, for real?
Yeah,
I've experienced that too. Yeah,
right. Like I get that all the like. It's a thing. Like literally, my baby cousin came in yesterday. His dad was like, "Oh, you're black."
Like,
my
jokes about blackness and like,
I hate someone that like being dark and I'm not meant to be dark or whatever. And I'm like, it's not that big of a deal, but it's like serious for them.
Yeah, like my mom, my mom is dark skinned, and so she always tells me the story about how when she went to Texas for a summer, she came back really, really dark, and she's not that secure in her own skin tone as it is. So she literally has never been back to Texas since that summer when she was younger, because of how people treated her when she came back that summer and like how dark she was.
Let's talk about how Jude got her a light man too.
Yeah, somebody just mentioned Meghan Markle, and I think that's really interesting because every time I think about that concept, I always think about Meghan Markle because that's exactly what she like represents to me, and I find that like funny that someone mentioned her.
Yeah.
The people, the Meghan Markle, the Rosario, what is her name? The Meg, what is Maya? I know who you're thinking of. So, like several people, like if you didn't know they were black, you didn't know they were black. But like I know people in real life like this that are black that have blonde hair and blue eyes from like selective breeding, which is a whole nother gross concept.
I have a lot of cousins. Oh God. My one.
So even like you can see some of their features, but like with these people, like no, it's like no, his nose is too broad, his lips are too big. Even if he's super light, you can tell he got their blood in him. We want that.
My one uncle has 3 daughters. The oldest one is about my shade. The middle one is a little bit darker. The youngest is, when she was, the last time I saw her was maybe 10 years ago, but she was so light and had blonde hair and blue eyes, and her parents were both darker than I am, and everyone's like, what happened? And it's like, we have the genes in the family, but even within the 3 sisters, like it's so different the amount of skin tones you can get. And like I've had people say to me, like, I didn't know you were black. I thought you were just like Cuban or something. And then you turn around, there's another person that's like, oh no, you could tell right away. And it's like, well, how do you make up your mind on this kind of thing? Like
that's why I like what she did with the dad, because I didn't expect obviously something that brutal to happen in this book, because it was kind of just more carefree. So I also don't like it when people use obviously black suffering to be like a a footnote or whatever in there, whatever they're doing. But I like the way that she used. I feel like what she was trying to do with that, with having the dad who was white, and then having the twin sisters watch that, was the point of, even though y'all are like basically white, like y'all are very light, y'all are still black to the white people.
Yeah.
And I think she really wanted to, emphasize that y'all are all the same. It's no point in being out here like I'm better than you because I'm just a little bit lighter than you. And I like that she utilized that brutal experience for that.
And I think that experience was the turning point. Sorry, Chanel.
Oh no, I was just saying that I felt the same about that too, because I was kind of mad. I was like, "Are we gonna go through this again?
Yeah.
Please no!" But then it was super interesting because they were like, "Oh, we're like basically white, we're safe," and then that happens, and it's like, "Oh, just kidding! I forgot that I was black." Well,
yeah, and I think that experience was like the turning point in their lives, and that was definitely where they both branched off, and I think that's what you can bring back to show where they decided one wanted to be black and the other one wanted to be white. I think that's what led them onto their two separate paths. So I really like how she used that.
I was reminded at the end how the mom didn't even like the man that she like. The man that she married was considered like lesser than her. So it's like, even if this white passing, even if you all this other stuff, it's still like they're gonna find a way to an issue. They're gonna find a way to be exclusionary, to have this like small group of people. And what do you gain from that? Nothing. I love how the grandma was like so nice to Jude though. I was ready for the grandma to be really, really rude to Jude. Like I was like, oh, please don't let the grandma be like real to the baby. But she was not. So
I didn't like.
I love Jude's character.
Yeah, she had to like change her skin and stuff. But you're right, she was nicer than I expected her to be. So that was.
I think that's a commentary in and of itself. Because even though she was nice, like she was still trying to lighten her skin tone and this and that. So like.
And on top of all the kids at school and stuff, it kind of just led you to feeling like, I'm not as pretty or whatever. And that was messed up. I love Jude's character though, so she's probably my favorite next to Reese.
Same.
She was. Girls still go through that though today, like feeling like they're not pretty, or they're darker, or from kids being mean, all that, like the stuff that. And that's, I think, another crazy part is like all this stuff is in 1950, 1960, 1970. It's still in 2020.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's still happening.
The names that she was being called at school, like the lights turned off, oh, we can't see you. Like people still say that stuff to me today, and she's darker than me. So it's kind of just like colorism is insane.
See,
it's so crazy, and it's in like everything. Because like even last week I was on TikTok and I randomly ended up in somebody's live. It was literally like 3 black men, and they were like, yeah, we don't, literally, I don't know why I clicked it at that exact moment, but they were like, we don't like dark skinned girls because they are this, that. They literally went on a whole rant about how they only like light skin and white women. It was literally like 3 or 4 black guys, and I'm telling you, they were darker than me. I was like,
were they black too?
And I'm getting tired of them talking about it's a preference, like
that's not a
preference.
It's like straight up colorism. If your preference is based on someone's skin tone or race,
that's racist.
It's not a preference.
And then, that's not a preference.
That's your skin tone. Like, what?
And then what's crazy is like
it's your mama and you're like, not that skin tone ever? Okay.
Make it make sense. What were you saying, Mayana?
I was gonna say, it's just like, and then it's interesting because when they have kids, like their kids could come out like any skin tone.
Exactly.
Like you think they might be light, but you might get a dark skinned baby, or like you might get like, I remember there was a girl who was like upset because her baby like didn't have blue eyes, and I'm like, first of all, both of you, your man is dark skinned, you're light skinned, your baby's not gonna have blue eyes.
That YouTuber?
Yeah,
I remember that.
Baby didn't have light eyes, and she was sad. Like, you literally gave birth. You're like, oh, she didn't have light eyes.
That's some bull.
And it's crazy
because you can even think about. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, you can go.
No, you can even think about people like the Kardashians, where you have like Khloe and Kylie, who both had babies with black men, and Khloe's baby came out so much darker than Kylie's, and the way the people on the internet reacted, I was like, what?
To a little baby.
Like, Yeah, because the guy that Kylie had, I don't know why I forgot his name all of a sudden, but the guy that Kylie had her baby with is even darker than the guy that Chloe had her baby with. So people like you don't know. So like having kids with black people because you want to have a really light baby with like type 4A or 3A hair, like that is not guaranteed. Like your child could come out as anything, and like you probably shouldn't be procreating with black people if you want a specific skin color. Because you're gonna be real upset when that baby comes out looking like dark chocolate.
If you have even that mindset at all, you shouldn't be procreating with black people.
Especially because like it's a gene thing. Like in my family, my brother, he's like lighter than me and he has like hazel eyes. And he's like the only one of us. And then my other brother, we're both dark skinned. And it's like just because you have like you procreate, you know, what's the word I'm looking for?
It's the word actually.
Oh. You know, you like procreate with like a person who's white or lighter, you're not always like it's not guaranteed. Like I wish people would stop thinking like.
And if you're thinking about having a child, why are you worried about this color of your child?
I hate that.
Like it's just it doesn't make any sense to me.
Like when I see people on Twitter or like Instagram, they're like mixed babies. I'm like, get help.
You're gross.
Yeah, literally, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
First of all, this is someone's actual child, so stop.
Literally, bro. Like, why?
Right,
and then as a kid, just mixed babies are the cutest. Like, no, I am me specifically, not all babies. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
we'll talk about friends. Somebody in the chat mentioned friends, and I was like, the whole time I was like, she said your other girlfriend. She's like, yo, they were all white, and she was like, would you still date me if I wasn't white? And he was like, no.
No, you wouldn't be you.
Yeah,
white, honey, she's not.
She's even that awesome to begin with.
Not to mention what he wanted her to call him in the bedroom.
I had to read that several times. I was like, wait a second, like what happened?
I was like, are you serious?
No, for real? Like,
they needed therapy.
No, really. Because I was trying not to judge, but I was like, you okay? Like, do you need help?
Nah, I was judging.
He's a whole PhD physicist, and you are a no job having white lady, and literally that's the only reason he thinks y'all on the same level is because you are white. Like you are nowhere in his stratosphere. He like it didn't even make sense, but it was just because she was white. That was it.
Yeah, I was honestly dying when Kennedy was like, still like, oh no, I'm white, and Jude was like, no, but you're black.
Jude stopped it real quick.
No, I would know if I was black. I would feel something.
Oh,
yeah. Do you feel something on the inside?
Like you can feel your genetic DNA running through you right now. Yeah. That's what you're feeling.
Of course.
Because do we all have a little tingle that nobody else feels? Like, no, stop it.
It's like, this is your mom. This is my mom. Look at me and look at you. You think you gonna tell me you're not black? Girl.
Yeah.
Okay, like Kennedy reminded me of 99% of the people I went to high school with, which I think was why I was so angry the whole time. And it's like, girl, shut up. Stop talking. You're not even that good at acting. You're like, this is the one.
Yeah, the only reason she got jobs was because she looked white. Like, child, if you acted as you were and you were black, you wouldn't even got these roles, baby. Because you're not even a good actor.
She wouldn't have been let to audition. They would have been like, no.
Yeah, like
you ain't even be a rich white spoiled girl the right way.
No, really, right? How you feel that?
You were in the lead.
Oh God. Like, okay,
I Stella pop up a professor. The little time jumps, I kind of didn't like them. Just because they kept happening so frequently. Like 10 years here. 10 years here. Now everybody 40. 10 years.
Now everybody 40.
and they jump back.
Early was just hot to trot in his suit and his stab, and now all of a sudden he got gray beard, hair, and back pain.
Not the back pain.
Aaron, did you read it physically?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why, because I listened to the audiobook and I think it's definitely way easier to follow on the audiobook. So I think it might be regardless, I think that there were way too many like time jumps, even though I liked the time jumps. I just do agree that there were too many, but it's definitely way easier to follow on audio.
Yeah, I agree with you, because that's how I listen to it.
I mean, I read it physically and I felt like it was easy to follow. I just felt like I was left wanting more after each point of view. Like I felt like it switched.
Exactly.
Sometimes it jumped after 2 paragraphs.
And I'm like,
and it was like 10 years and then back to the other timeline, like the main one. And then it was like, you're on the other side of the country, but you're back here again. And it's like, more than 2 paragraphs.
It was like back pain. we on the playground, back page. We on the playground.
I like the time jumps. Honestly, I didn't like Kennedy's perspective at all. So I like know why her perspective was important, but I kind of just didn't think it added too much.
Yeah, me either.
Enough in the story to warrant having her perspective.
It was so pointless.
It could have ended quicker. It could have ended quicker.
Long.
Like I feel like this book could have been told as a freaking short story.
Yeah,
I understood each perspective, and like I liked the characters, and I understood why each bit was added in, but I was just kind of bored while I was reading it. Like every once in a while I'd be like, girl, what? And then it just keep going. And then it's like, oh shit, okay. And keep going. And
I feel like the one person who was very unnecessary to have in there was Kennedy, because her character did absolutely nothing. She was pointless. All she was there for, like, no, I know that you guys said that, but I'm just saying, I just feel like I really didn't like her. Right. Always late. I wanted to re-express my dislike because I wanted to say that I think even if she hadn't added Kennedy, it might have seemed like unbalanced, because then you have like 3 characters. So even though I think she was pointless, I think that's why she was added.
I mean,
Monty said
confused me as well.
What did you say?
Some of the writing choices confused me. Like at the end, the scene where Reese and Jude were in Minnesota or in Minneapolis or whatever, and then she's saying like something. I noticed everything about him changed as we broke up, as we were laying in the bed before we moved to this new city. And I was like, what? What are you trying to say?
That was
were they together? Were they not together? What happened?
I'm surprised the husband never found out.
Yeah,
I wanted that to happen.
I was
so bad.
Honestly, I was expecting Kennedy to be a little bit more vindictive and just like reveal all to him. But like the fact that he just like this book just ended with him still not knowing the truth. I'm like, man, this man has been
in denial. She didn't want that black man to get cut off because she was black.
Big deal too, and then they just never followed up on that. I was waiting. That's why I didn't like the ending that much. I was expecting so much more, but
it just kind of ended, and it was like,
I mean, she was never.
Yeah, it was a choice.
And I was like, your marriage is now a lie. I mean, it's been a lie. So
all I want to say is I felt the way when I was reading this that I felt when I was reading Daisy Jones, and I think that's why I was like,
not Daisy Jones. That book was so boring.
It really was.
I definitely didn't feel bored reading this book though. Like I did not feel bored.
Yeah,
everything was bored either.
I was so interested and like I was shook and like there were so many moments. Like, what the hell? With Daisy Jones, I was like, when is this book over? Like, what is the point?
It was so pointless. It was like a New York Times article.
I mean, reading this book, I feel like I was bored in the beginning because I wasn't sure where it was going. Like reading with the first sister's perspective, like I was like, what is happening? Why am I reading about this? What is gonna make me care about these characters at this point? Because right now I'm just reading about her coming back to this town. And then once, I think the only reason why it picked up for me and I actually got interested was because I knew we were going to get Stella's perspective. And at that point I was like, okay, I want to know why this all happened, what she did, because she's honestly the catalyst for everything right now. And I just need to know where her mindset's at.
Well, for me,
interesting comments in the chat that none of us are looking at.
What? I was reading some and replying to them.
Yeah, I was reading it.
Somebody said the fact that Stella didn't even know her mom died, like nobody thought to tell her for whatever reason.
Yeah.
The choices were made with the not reveal, the like lack of information various characters had throughout the story.
But what do you think? What do you think Stella would have done if she knew that her mom died? Do you think she would have came back? Because I really don't think she would have come back. I think she came back that one time.
Yeah, I feel like she found out because in the funeral she called Kennedy and told her.
No, but Kennedy said she's not going to tell. Kennedy said, "I'm not going to tell."
You called Kennedy. Kennedy said she's not going to tell my mom.
Was it? Wait, am I tripping, or was Stella at the funeral, or were they just thinking?
No, she didn't come to the funeral.
And dropped off the ring. And, take care of my mama.
And then she left. But I think that was her last moment. That was her getting whatever she needed. But I don't think she would have even came back for that funeral.
Right, because she was content with living the rest of her life. Is like a lot. She was like fine with
that. Was her closure.
Okay, no, I remember. I'm losing it. It's fine. It's fine.
The story felt very unfinished. Like I'm like, can we go back to Reese, please?
It did, and I think it's because
good.
And I think it's because it took so long for her to make everything come together in a meaningful way that when she did, it was at the very end of the book and then it just ended. So I felt like that's why we all felt like we were waiting for more.
I would have
because she didn't elaborate on the meaningful part.
I liked it, to be honest. I liked the ending, and I'm someone who kind of enjoys literary fiction. Like a lot of my favorite books are literary fiction. I think I like kind of pointless stuff where it's just like people are like just living their lives. And I like the time jumps because I like seeing people grow up instead of everything being always like about youth. I like to see the fact that Jude and Reese and all of them that did not have the best upbringings could just be adults and kind of just do whatever they wanted. And open-ended endings, I feel like have their place. And I obviously want more of the story because it was amazing. But I feel like it worked for what it was, at least in my point.
Yeah, I agree.
Valid.
I think it did the best with what Princess said.
But like I like that thing if I'm not bored. But I was just left feeling bored most of the time.
Yeah,
I cannot relate.
Right, I was
it was so juicy.
I was so interested.
Right, I was flipping them pages, boy. I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
I don't understand either because I started it last night. I read like 2 pages last night, and then I read it today. And like I read it while I was doing other things too. Like I'm sitting there feeding Carter and reading this, and I'm just like, okay. But the whole time after I finished, I was like, what the fuck was the point? Like, why did I just read this so fast? Like, I was almost like I started forgetting things already right when I finished. I was like, I think I was expecting more from it because like I remember Alana reading it on Zoom and was like, okay, I'm at Stella's point now and I'm getting it. Like I understand now. This is a lot more interesting. And I was hoping for that, but then when I read it, I was like, it's not doing it for me.
I will say, I think the ending should have just had a little bit. Like, I would have rather the husband found out and we got that scene, like, trying to.
You wanted some tea.
Yeah, you just wanted the drama.
You wanted some tea.
How you pass all this time and don't never know drama?
Yeah.
But what I didn't like is like each 4 of the 4 parts is one of their stories, basically. And it was like somebody's story, conclusion. That was it. Like
that's what I meant when I said it didn't come together in a meaningful way.
They weren't woven together because you could have switched back between all of the perspectives throughout the story and given us what was Stella doing while Desiree was doing this. How is contrasting how Kennedy was growing up being a spoiled rich girl doing X, Y, and Z while Jude was struggling to literally run away from Mallard and deal with this bullying and this like weird sexual relationship she was having with that boy. Because we didn't really talk about that, but like there was something
that we didn't even talk about that.
There was so many missed opportunities to like pull the story together and create tension, and for us to really like her to really just like position them next to each other in a way that we really see what life is like living as a Black woman. And living as a Black woman. Because I feel like by the end, we low-key had gave up on Desiree. Like we really didn't get any more Desiree. And I'm like, this is equal parts her story too. But we got her in the beginning, and that was kind of just it. My favorite part with Jude and Reese and Barry and all that. And
I loved her.
Trying to find herself in college. That's what I really connected with. And it just went downhill from there. It was with Stella and her neuroticism and all this other weird stuff. She can't even enjoy being white because she on her pins and needles.
Yeah, because she
got her insufferable daughter.
Enjoy being
that's
white.
the point.
Like if I were to do that, I'd be enjoying it. I'd be like, screw everybody else. I'm at least since I lied. And
that's what I think. That's what she was trying to show, though. Like no matter how much she wanted to be white and how much she wanted to enjoy it, at the end of the day, she knew she was Black, so she was scared.
That's why could have been a happy white lady. She could have been a happy white lady.
That's why I think the author's trying to show.
I wanted her friends to find out about it. Like those bitchy ass friends that she had. I want them to find out and rip her apart. Like, give me something here, please. But none of them. I wanted Loretta, the neighbor, to find out or something and be like,
I wanted Loretta to find out.
Girl, I already know you Black. What you mean?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I was waiting for that.
Loretta to check her, bro.
They left. Bye. Never saw them again. Like,
and why did she come to Loretta's house with that lopsided cake? Like, somebody
that was rude. That was just
after calling her out of the N-word, you thought he was gonna pop up with a cake?
What? Like,
and then you make it pretty
and lopsided at that.
Bruh.
Come on. Since when she could bake?
She couldn't.
I was worried Miss Stella was gonna drown in the pool with her gin.
That would have been great. Like, Stella could choke, and I would have just been like.
I thought it was interesting how like super racist basically Stella was, and Loki, her husband was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. My husband was like, "Whoa, you're chill."
Literally in the book, the part where they're like the husband was embarrassed of
how like, damn, how your white husband embarrassing you?
I was like, it's bad when the white people embarrassed you.
Like
the
that
guy who was grooming her from a young age was embarrassed about her.
Then they never really elaborate on just how old Mr. Blake was.
No, how old was he?
I'm like
28 at one point, like when he was her boss.
Like, he was 28. When they moved to New Orleans, they were 16, and this was after a year.
Exactly. So what?
He was 28.
Oh, so he was 10 years. Oh, that's nasty.
That's
I think it's funny that like when he was talking about how, or like thinking about how she doesn't want to hire black people, he was like, "That's kind of weird, but I'm gonna leave that to her."
Like, literally, Blake was confused the whole time.
Well, yeah,
Mr. Blake didn't know his wife.
Yeah, he was also that guy that was like, for someone who groomed someone so young, he was really into like the traditional roles of like the wife stays home and handles the household, and I go away and work and earn the money, and she raises the child and all that kind of stuff. So he was really into those traditional roles. Despite
Mr. Blake didn't even know he was a predator. He didn't know he was a pedo, and he didn't know he was a swirler.
There's a question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The one Lala's question about, are we gonna read from this author in the future? And then I definitely will.
Yeah, me too.
I definitely will too.
I 100% will be reading.
Other book, The Mothers. What's it about? Let's see.
Right, because like I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, what is the synopsis?
Whatever it is, I'll be reading from this author, because one thing I really loved, even though like her husband didn't find out, she didn't find out about her mom, I thought all of those parts were very, very realistic. And I think personally, if her friends had found out that she was Black, and like she found out her mom died and things were like resolved very easily, I think I would have been very unsatisfied. Like I might have rated it even lower, because that just doesn't seem realistic to me at all.
I didn't want them resolved.
It was easy for her to continue to live. So I was like, okay.
I didn't want them resolved. I just wanted something more.
I don't think I'll pick up The Mothers because it's a lot of Black trauma.
Yeah.
But
what is it about? What is it about?
What's it about, Erin?
It starts with a secret. All good secrets have a taste before you tell them. And if we'd taken a moment to swish this one around in our mouths, we might have noticed the sourness of an unripe secret plucked too soon. It is the last season of high school, a rebellious, grief-stricken 17-year-old beauty mourning her own mother's recent suicide. She takes up with the local pastor's son. He's 21, a former football star whose injury has left him waiting. 17 and 21. But the pregnancy that results from this teen romance and the subsequent cover-up will have an impact that goes far beyond their youth. As Nadia hides her secret from everyone, including Aubrey, her God-fearing best friend, the years move quickly. Soon Nadia, Luke, and Aubrey are full-fledged adults and still living in debt to the choices they made one seaside summer. Caught in a love triangle, they must carefully maneuver and dogged by the constant nagging question, what if they had chosen differently? Sounds messy, but...
Yeah, it sounds really messy. And the thing
sounds like a Monty book to me.
I like the
not the pastor's son.
Bro, for real.
I would read it. I would read it because I do like her writing.
I would read that.
Yeah.
Do we get an outfit finish, Miss Mayana?
Yeah. The shirt was too
like
tight.
That would be juicy. I feel like
that not able to breathe.
Mother's book.
Yeah,
that Mother's book sounds like it's gonna be really, really juicy. So
I would read it.
It has a 3.8 on Goodreads. So
I didn't like.
What is the Vanishing Half on Goodreads?
It has like a 3.2, I think.
Very high rating.
That's 3.2.
A 3.2.
Well deserved, in my opinion.
Like
I have the writing style, so I would read something else, but I don't think The Mothers is for me.
Right.
I didn't even really want to read this one when I first heard that y'all were reading it. I found out like so late, and I was like, why would I care about this random book about twins? But then I read it, and I'm like,
same. I felt like that too. I was like, it doesn't sound like something that would be up my alley, but I really liked
it up. And I'm glad that you guys picked it because it forced me to read such a good book. And I think what a lot of you guys are saying that didn't really like it was the fact that y'all kind of expected more, and I didn't expect anything because I was like, I don't want to read it. So I went in like, okay, like what is this even? And it ended up like really.
I didn't want to read it. I read this book last night.
Bro.
And I think for like me,
I was like.
And I was gonna say, I think for me, I enjoyed it because I was like one of the first people to read it, and so I was already ready to go in for like the messiness. And though it wasn't as messy, I was still like interested. Like even from like the first few chapters where we get the sisters being young, and like I could kind of see how it's gonna play out, and like I want to see because I thought Desiree was gonna be the sister that was the one that was gonna be white passing. So because of how much she hated them, and then reading it, actually found out that she was opposite. So I was just very intrigued from the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely thought I would be DNFing that book because I went on Goodreads and looked at the description and I was like, this sounds like the driest. And then I saw it was literary fiction. I'm
telling you.
And I was so, and I was like so like shook because the last literary fiction I tried to read, the last 2 or 3 literary fictions I tried to read were instant DNFs. So I was like, oh no, it's gonna be a bad time.
Yeah,
honestly, do we think the show will be better than the book? Lala asked.
Oh, honestly,
I think it would make a good show.
I think it'll be
the show would be better.
I think the show will do what we want. Well, I wanted it to do, and it's going to show us these things at the same time.
Do I really want to watch another show with just light-skinned people though?
Oh, okay.
That's
that's true.
I don't know.
Please, I want to see Reese. I want to
see Reese too.
I want to see Reese. I want to see Earth.
I want to see Reese. That's it. That's all I'm here for, bro.
And I also want to know
depending on who takes it.
I want them to pick a trans actor.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, same.
I'm showing somebody.
I want to see who they would cast as Jude.
Me too.
Do we know who's taking over? Like, do we know who's taking over the? Because I know it got signed for something. Was it a movie or a TV show?
A TV show.
Okay, who's picking it up though?
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah.
Which is good. I was like, as long as it's not Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Fuck, like no.
Janelle don't be reading nothing because this was in our pinned tweet.
I forgot. I thought it was okay. Clueless Hottie.
I need to go. I need to go get.
Bye.
I missed you already. This was wonderful, even though I didn't really like the book. I love you guys.
Hey, what was your spreadsheet book?
Oh,
started it?
The one that you put.
Book
you have to say the one you
Yeah, but what book is it?
What book did I put on the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember.
Wow.
And also, what book did you have?
The book I picked was Circe.
That was Chanel's offshoot because she didn't want it.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We can just keep it to ourselves.
I've been told that I will really like that one. What did I put on there?
Alyssa Cole.
Did I?
Tal, you got to come back to the chat later, I guess.
Yeah, because not you forgetting.
No, really.
Right.
Mom brain. Okay. Oh, no. So the book I didn't like, Four Dead Queens.
No, I didn't think that was you.
By Astrid Schultz. That was just boring as all fuck. The one I really liked was Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Carriger.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's like a YA punk
I think
set
in
1860s.
Yeah, we never saw Jude in class. Somebody said Jude was basically not in college. Jude was always
not wrong.
But Jude was a whole med student. You know, she was studying her book. But I didn't see her in class. I didn't know the grade.
She went to med school, so obviously she
was doing something.
Yeah.
And at one point, the professor was like, "Your GPA got you about to flunk out." So I was like, "Well, Jesus, I have to lose your scholarship."
I forgot about that part.
Okay, bye.
Just turned it around, but you know. Are we moving now to the spreadsheet book?
Yeah, I think we should.
I guess so. Should we ask if there's any last minute questions about the book?
Oh,
true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does anyone have any last minute questions or comments, concerns?
I mean, I guess I just wanted to say that I like how basically the author made sure Stella, who basically was just trying to be somebody she wasn't, was the one who suffered throughout like the entire book the most, even though she had like the most luxurious life, and everybody else who like was just living and trying to be themselves in the best way possible, they ended up happy and fine regardless of anything they lost in the past. And I really like that notion that the author. That's my favorite thing.
I like that too.
Monty said what her favorite quote. I know mine.
Oh, I have mine on my phone. So hold on, let me look.
My favorite quote was what Stella said about marriage. She said, "When you got married, you agreed." And I said this. I was on FaceTime with someone. I was like, "Let me tell you something."
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you something.
She said, when you get married, you agree to love all the people that he will be, and he's agreeing to love all the people that you've been. And just about how people change so much in marriage, and the people that you are the day you get married won't be the people that you might be however many years from now. And you're committing to loving all the people inside of them, all the people they might be. And I was like, girl, you did that. Okay.
Yeah, I liked that quote too. I don't have my own favorite quote because I don't have one.
I think I like this quote the most. There were several that I liked. But the first one I have on here is, "Negroes always love our hometowns, even though we're always from the worst places. Only white folks got the freedom to hate home." And it really.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because I live in.
White folks do love their hometown.
You're right.
They do. Period. Like I love that hometown.
Like at the end of the day, if somebody talks something about my where I live at, Detroit, I'll still be like, "Oh, Detroit," So I mean, I guess I don't.
Yeah, period.
Exactly, Bento. Like I'm always talking about Detroit. Like I don't even like.
Yeah, I don't even like
Not y'all living down the street from each other.
Exactly.
To be honest,
we be arguing about that.
Capri coming in with the hard hitters. If anybody don't have any more quotes, she loves.
Oh, I have one.
I mean, there's a couple questions.
Go ahead.
So my favorite one was the one that said, like, leaving, the hardest part of returning was deciding to. And I really like that. So
that's a good one.
Capri's your mind, the rest is easy, honestly.
Wait, Capri's question, if you could, would you ever hide the fact that you're Black? That one?
No.
Yeah.
There's a couple further up, sorry.
What's the most in this book?
To me, it was Jude as a character.
It was Reese for me.
I love
Reese.
Reese stood out for me.
It was
too.
so
yes, he was
I
a good.
didn't expect it at all.
For me, it was Stella. Just like that whole mindset, just really was just like the kicker where I was like, oh, a lot of things are going on with this one person.
Yeah, for me, it was just in the beginning, like me not knowing which sister was gonna be which because they both were really, really light. So how much Desiree hated being there and like how she felt about it, but then realizing that Stella was the sister who was gonna be the one married to the white man, like that's what stood out to me. And like it made sense that Desiree married the darker skinned man, but also it was just like it was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask.
Crazy.
What was the question?
What
stood out the most?
Oh, I was gonna say the part with Reese, because like how we talked about in the beginning, how I feel like a lot of times when we see trans characters, there's so much trauma associated with their part in the book, but I feel like it was done so well, and it was definitely done in a much more positive light, so I really liked his part.
Yeah.
If you could pass, would you? Or if you could hide the fact that you're Black, would you?
I really wouldn't. Like, I love being Black.
I feel like I just be so paranoid. Like, oh shit! Like, what if they find out today? Like, no, I just.
And I love everything about being Black. I love when you go to a random place and you see a Black person and you're like, hey, like we're both Black here. Like everything about
literally.
Like how much we hype each other up. Like you ever just be dancing and a Black person like don't even know you, just be like, hey, get it.
Like, especially Black moms and aunties. Oh, baby.
Literally, like everything about Black
also,
culture,
or if something crazy happened in public, you look at the next Black person
and you're like,
look like. Looking like that was
and also too, like at my university, there's like 1% Black people, and I also worked on campus, and literally, I kid you not, one day I was working at the library, and this Black woman who I literally have never seen in my whole life came up to me, and she literally held my hand. She was like, "I'm so glad I've seen another one." I was like, "Me too, girl." Because my whole entire program, like the entire psychology department at my school, not a single Black faculty member, not a single professor, not a single worker, nothing. So when I saw that woman and she saw me, I was like, and I would never give that up for anything.
It's like ever. Being Black is a big part of my identity, and especially like I've always been super, super Black. Okay, I didn't know I was Black for a long time. It's a story my mama might tell y'all one day, but I thought I was white when I was younger.
Me too. I always made my avatars white.
But
I made my avatars white when I was younger.
I went to
my dad was a Hotep, so
exactly. That never happened. Like all my characters like dark skin, like darker than that.
So there was barely anything to choose from.
And so being one of the very few Black people in the space, or like being the only Black person in the 100-mile radius, is a wild experience. And like you don't realize, but like Black people, they like are magnets. I literally remember I was in a museum one time. I was in Vietnam at the at the War Museum, and I was walking through an Agent Orange exhibit, like real heavy, real serious experience. And this black man stopped me. He was like, "You black?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am. You're black too. Like,
you're black too."
And we were just like, "All right, what kind of black are you? Like, where are you from? Are you American black? Are you different type of black?" And we just like stood and talked for like 30 minutes. We like exchanged information, and it's always like that. Whenever I'm abroad, I see black people. It's just like, all right, we black together. We, it's not a lot of us out here, and it's just that sense of community, that closeness, that how all black people have like some of the same lived experiences. And
literally,
that's chef's kids. Like I would never give up being black.
Right, like we all have that Tupperware that we use as like for leftovers. Like
spaghetti one that got the little red in it.
Yeah, for real, right. We all have had that one blanket. All of our aunties or grandma had their couches covered up in the plastic.
Yeah, sticking the hot legs on the summer days.
When you think about the hot comb,
my ears hurt.
Smelling like outside. You can't go in and out of my house. You're letting all the air out. It's like so little bitty things. It's like, did y'all get a handbook?
Real gotta be ready for the street lights come on.
Yeah, I feel like
running to get home.
I'm not one of your little friends. Oh, my mom.
Like when your mom looks at you, she's like, "I'm not your friend," and you're like,
okay. You go to the store and she's like, "Don't touch nothing. Don't look
at nothing."
Y'all, my black mom's gonna say hi. Hello. Hi. I told him I used to think I was white.
Yeah, you did. But that's only because we don't talk about race.
What exposing?
Where's Monty?
Monty's not here. Mom's always looking for Monty though.
She's always looking for Monty. What about me?
She don't care about the rest of us. That's okay.
Right.
Nina not here either.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about the baby?
The baby just left. You just missed the baby.
Oh, okay. Well, hello everyone else.
Hi.
The "do you have McDonald's money" is sending me.
I remember one time
got food at home.
My mom was like, "Do you have Wendy's money?" And I did, and she still cussed me out.
Save that money. Do you know that lesson? Like you know that song?
Literally.
Mom still asking what?
It's hard. It's easy to remember the song now.
Erin's still getting it. Erin's about to get a whooping the other night.
Right.
She's about to get us whooped too.
That community black mama-ness, like whenever you in a space and somebody black mama, it's like everybody shape up.
Yep.
As soon as
Monty said,
like,
he loved being the favorite. Monty said he loves being the favorite. I hate it here.
Bro.
It's because I showed her a drag video and she was so into
right. It's just this dragon.
Yeah, but it's like I hate when people are like, not everything is about race, but it's like when you're black or a person of color, everything is about race. Like you can't separate race from being black.
Yeah, you can.
Well, that's privilege.
You go somewhere, you're like, are there black people there? What kind?
Literally, because I'm not coming.
People, I'm like, who made that?
For real, when we have food at Target, me and all my black coworkers be like, you know who made this? I ain't eating it.
Natural black trust that you have, like a certain amount of grace I extend to all black people, and that I have certain expectations in general.
Yeah, I think
if you could delete a character from the book, who would it be? Miss Stella.
Kennedy.
Bye.
How you gonna delete Stella? The book wouldn't exist.
Too important. Kennedy. I delete
Kennedy.
Actually, I don't think I would delete anyone, to be honest.
To be honest, I was about to say that too.
You so nice.
You know what? No, I was gonna say I would delete Sam, but then because her and Early could have just been together from the jump.
Oh, I forgot about him.
I was like, who's that? No,
me too. I was like, who's Sam?
Sometimes
not who all over there.
Came down to the small things. Oh, people are putting their favorite quotes. Okay. Sometimes who you were came down to the small things. Facts. There are many ways to be alienated from someone, few to belong. Capri is definitely a moderator. Are there any similar books you'd recommend to people who love this book?
We don't read.
I haven't read it. Yeah, I haven't
read books like this before. So no.
I've never read it.
Aaron, you have the floor.
I think I'm in the spot.
No, I would say there's a book called Passing by Nella Larson that's literally about passing, and it's about one woman who like doesn't like to pass and another woman who does, and there's definitely a lot more drama in that book. So if you were looking for something more, then I would say read Passing, because it's shorter too. Like it's super short, like way more explosive at the end.
Maya, put the credit card down, sis.
The credit card's on the phone, honey.
one touch.
It's one click and it's ordered.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend Passing by Nella Larson. If any, Capri asked this question, but she knows the answer. If any character could get their own book, who would you like it to be?
Reese.
Like what?
Point blank, period.
Also, I would take an Early book.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I liked Early.
Early's adventures. Okay, why he on the streets?
For real.
Yes, we love Capri. Capri does a very good job of asking the good questions.
Yeah.
Are there any characters in this book that remind you of someone in your own life, negative or positive?
No, thankfully.
No.
Yeah, no, not really.
Well, I guess
a lot of high school people.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know if it's a specific person, but like I'm from Alabama, and if you're American, I don't have to say much behind that. It's like, okay. So I'm from like the deep, deep South, like the real KKK rally in 2019 South. So like the culture, the like vibe, the atmosphere is like something I can very much relate to. Like they talked about sundown towns, they talk about lynching, they talk about all these things. And it's like, you know, how black parents had to talk with you about, you know, the police and about doing X and doing Y. Like that's so much more prevalent about like how to be black here, how to engage with white people here, what places you don't go. There are literally places in Alabama, I know for a fact, even in 2020, I do not need to be there, period. Like I can tell you on road trips we've taken, and it's like we put up to a barbecue place, and they see the car for the black people, they won't serve you. They don't even like roll down the window and like acknowledge your existence. It's nothing. It's just like at all. And this is in the year of our Lord 2020. So it's like just the culture of the story, the time period is like not that far removed from my background, which is why
I don't know if I related to a person, but I think I related to the idea of struggling with your identity a little bit, personally, just because I am mixed. And so as a kid, there was just a time where I really did struggle with like the fact that I am white, but I'm also black. And like, there were instances where I didn't feel like, as a kid, I didn't feel white enough to hang out with the white kids, but I didn't feel black enough to hang out with the black kids either. And so honestly, it wasn't even until college where I figured out like my identity as a black person and like what that meant to me. So I think just that idea overall within the book was like something I did relate to, because I was like, and it's something I still struggle with a lot, like where I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna be welcomed into these spaces, because there are just certain areas where people don't want me or don't feel like I like can't relate to me or whatever. So that's that.
I'm going through the chat looking at the rest of the questions. Oh, here, Mayana's coming back. All right, so do we have any those are like the last rounds of questions. Anybody have any other thoughts on the Vanishing Hive before we move on to the second part of this lovely discussion live situation?
Nope, I think that's it for the Vanishing Hive.
All right, so people, this is like the end of the Vanishing Hive portion of this live. Now we're going to talk about the Hottie takeover for the month of July, which was we put books into a spreadsheet, good books and bad books. Blame sincerely to Tahiri for that. And we chose a random number generator, and we chose a book, and we couldn't find out who chose a book, and we couldn't share what book we had until you posted your vlog or until now. So now we're going to say which books we put on there, who do we think read them, our thoughts if we read them, etc., etc., etc. Okay? Sound good? Great. Jocelyn.
Well, why I gotta go first and I didn't even read my book? Like, why you put me on the spot like that? What am I supposed to say? What I put on there?
Yeah, what books did you put on there?
I put Cersei on there as my good book, which if y'all were here when Zoe left, Zoe said she picked it and Zoe didn't read it yet. And for my bad book, I put Stalking Jack the Ripper because I hate that book.
Oh yes, I fucking hate that book.
Trash.
Okay, Okay.
Oh, should I say the book that I picked? And
yeah.
why I didn't read it? Is Mika in the chat? Anyway, I got the book of the Blood by Cameo Renee, and I read the first 3 pages, and it just read like a Wattpad book, so I never picked it up again. And maybe I'll read it and post a blog, but I doubt it. But I think Mika put that, and I think it was Mika's good book. But I don't know whose book it is.
She said she did. She put it in the ticker.
She did?
Yeah, she said yes, ma'am, in the comments.
Maybe she was just saying yes, ma'am, that she's here in the chat.
The book that I got was The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn, which I have not read, but I will. I know for a fact Mayana put this on there. Even before I knew Mayana put this on there, I knew it was Mayana, period.
Okay. Mayana has taste.
Wait, Mika said she didn't.
But I got her good book, and Tahira got her bad book, which is why Tahira said Mayana need to be
I'm reading that at the moment, and I hate that was somebody's bad.
So
book.
I put The Queen of the Tearling on there, and I put
I knew it.
I mean, I talked about it in like 3 videos after that, so it's pretty obvious. But it wasn't obvious when I did it. I put The Queen of the Tearling, and I put what is that book called? The Graveyard Girls.
No, The Graveyard Girls. You didn't like that book or something?
Yeah, that book was terrible. That was my bad book. Somebody got it. I don't know who though. But yeah, that was my bad book. Haley.
All right.
Yep. Okay, I put The Song of Achilles as my good book. And as my bad book, I put We Were Liars, because that's the worst book I've ever read.
Why'd you do that to Cassidy?
I was laughing the whole time.
We knew it was Haley.
Trash. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I got Red, White, and Royal Blue, which I did not like.
put that, I'm pretty sure.
I was gonna say, I think she put that as her good book.
Okay, who's next?
Binta.
Yeah. I wait. So we saying what we put on there first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
For my good book, I put Someone We Know by Cherie Lapina because I love that book. And then for my bad book, I put H2O. I don't even remember the author. I fucking hate that book.
Oh my God, Cece was reading that.
Well, I so mad about the acid rain.
Yes,
right.
The book is trash. Like
Chanel.
Oh, hold on. I had to say the book that I got. I forgot. The book I got was Meddling Kids. I don't remember the author. I did not finish it yet, and I don't think I will. It's kind of childish, even though it's about like technically adults. I don't really like the characters. I don't know.
Isn't it a middle grade?
Yeah, I think it is, and it's like about adults, but it's like it reads like a middle grade. I don't like it.
I think it is middle grade.
I don't like it. So whoever put that on there.
Well, so I put Pretty Girls, which is like a thriller, and I put that as my good book because it was so amazing. And the other book that I put, which is a bad book, but I thought it was really entertaining. So I guess it's like, for me, it's kind of neutral because I know it's going to be bad to people. But I thought it was so funny when I was reading it. And that book is Obsidian by Jennifer Armentrout.
Wow.
And that was Monty's book.
Like,
that was Monty's book, if you guys don't know. So y'all should watch his vlog.
Yeah. And I thought it was so funny because I was like, I know whoever gets this is gonna hate their life.
And of course it'll be Monty, the king of dragon books.
Yeah. And the book that I got was The 100,000 Kingdoms. Are we supposed to say what we thought about it?
You said you were liking it.
Yeah, okay, the thing is I thought I would really hate that book because I really didn't like The City We Became. I gave it like 2 stars. So yeah, so I thought I would really hate this book. I liked it. I think I ended up giving it like 4 stars only because really I was like, they out here sleeping with their cousins. The child is like, you get to taste my mom.
No, you need to stop saying that stuff out of context.
Hold on, because
I talk about it in my vlog.
It's about God.
I mean, yeah, it's out of context. Okay, it's out of context. But you're not about to be like, Jocelyn, Jocelyn, at the beginning of a chapter, you're not about to be like, hey, cousin, and at the end of the chapter, you sleep with your cousin. No.
They're gods. All gods are related.
Yeah, but anyways, I'll have my vlog up so people will see that. But that's the book I got.
What book did you put on the page?
Yeah, I want to know.
Y'all already know what books I put on there. I don't.
My good book
The Woman in the Window, which was it a good book? Debatable. And my bad book was Verity, which Kira got, and then I got Furyborn, which I have no idea who put that book on there.
Whoa.
Still.
I thought it was actually put Zenith on the chat on the thing. It was Tahira.
It was Tahira. We all know that.
She said it in her blog.
I wanted to know who put the 100,000 Kingdoms, and I thought it was Aaron. So now I'm sad because it's not Aaron.
It had to be Fadwa then, I think. If it wasn't me and it wasn't Aaron, it had to be Fadwa.
Okay.
I think that Mika asked who put From Blood and Ash, and I think Monet put that because I was watching one of Monet's wrap-ups and she's talking about how that book wasn't good.
I know Monet put your book on there.
Mine?
As a
good book?
As her good book.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. When we were talking about it one day,
and Monet have the most similar taste, and she put that trash book as her good book.
You were talking about it one day, so I was like, let me go see. And I seen Monet gave it like 4 stars, and I was like,
Monet must like Wattpad. That's all I got to say. I don't know what the hell she got going on.
Okay, my bad book is Resurrection Girls. I don't know who got it, but I know someone did. I just wanted them to suffer.
So wait, Aaron, what books did you get? I'm sorry, I wasn't. Even though it was a good book for me.
You just said it was debatable 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I liked it. A lot of people don't like it. I had a fun time.
I thought it was amazing too.
Yeah, I had a fun time.
Soon and very soon.
The book I got Miko was Of the Blood, I think, by Camille Renee. Yeah, Of the Blood by Camille Renee.
I've never read anything on Wattpad.
Oh, for real?
Really?
You're blessed. Like, just consider yourself blessed.
No, not blessed. Unlucky.
Wattpad is a cesspool, okay? Like, I can count on like one hand the good books I've read on there.
Okay, but they were good in middle school. Like, the hell?
Right, period.
No, they weren't good then.
They were good.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Good for 12-year-old Mayana reading at 2
They
a.m.
were. I said, I wish I had a boy next door with 10 brothers.
Y'all used to read those stories? Why am I not surprised?
Period. The bad boy stole my bra.
I was the person who always shit on them.
Period. The bad boy's girl. The bad boy's girl.
Oh my God.
The alpha, period.
You Monty put the meddling.
The alpha's mate.
Monty put the first 2 up there because he was just so quick. Like,
Monty, he put meddling kids. Bro, I hate him for that. Like, I hate him.
Was it his good book?
No, he said it was his bad one.
Oh, okay.
Good, because that book is ass. Like, I really don't like it.
Capri put Glass Castle on there.
Was it her bad book?
Well, yeah, was it your bad book, Capri?
The new library.
I just want to know who did the 100,000 Kingdoms.
Not Mr. Popular and me. Period.
Well, I can't believe I used to read though. That's crazy because I used to see.
Yes, all the Wattpad girlies know the bad boys on my bro.
On heads, bro.
I didn't used to
read Wattpad. It was good to me.
That was not.
I didn't like it. I mean,
12-year-old me was enjoying it at 3 a.m. under the blankets.
Period. My mom said turn the lights off.
So my mama ain't know what I was doing.
Right. I said she don't know what Wattpad is.
He was reading by the flashlight.
Because Black mamas walk in, they don't care what if you reading, they don't care. They don't.
Right.
Man, I used to have to scam my mom. Like, I used to have a bedtime. Y'all see my mama don't play, and I'm 25. When I was young, I used to have to like turn the TV off at a certain time. It was very early. It was 8:30, and I would like, all right. She would go and check the back of the TV, see if it was still warm.
So not to see if the TV was warm.
Whoa,
the TV was warm. So I said, you know what? I got you. I got something for you, mama. I got something for you. So I used to get a cold, wet rag, and I used to put it under my
child. Not you getting electrocuted.
No. And then when I would turn it, I would hear her coming. I would turn the TV out, and I would just go wipe it down with a cold, wet rag.
Wow.
And dry it off, and put the thing right back in the bed.
You had that much time to do that?
No, really.
I was making a lot of noise. I had a little lead time, and then I would be in the bed, and she would touch it, and it would be nothing. And then she would be like, why is the sheets always wet? And she's like, under your head. She's like, I just thought you were moving around wet in the bed. And I was like,
ew.
Whoa.
But yeah, that's how I had to scam because she just had her foot on my neck my whole life.
See, my mom, she used to care.
They're talking about mindless behavior.
Oh, mindless behavior.
Mindless behavior.
Let's start that discussion.
This is right.
I gotta
okay, people. The chat, the diamond is gone. Yeah, we just hanging out like we usually do on Zoom.
Not it's becoming a Zoom call.
Right. You know, me and Johnson be talking in the Zoom calls.
Talking. Monty said maybe if you didn't think you were white, you could have watched TV past 8:30.
Monty, that made me bring her in here. Because she will come. Thank you. And no, my bedtime was 8:30 until high school.
I don't think we let Alana say her spreadsheet, but
sorry. I didn't want to interrupt.
Why you ain't say nothing?
Right, speak up.
I was waiting.
You're gonna be waiting for a while.
The book I got, I picked was Salty Bittersweet, which I think Jess put that because I literally talked to her on her wrap up. Like when she posted about that book in her wrap up, I literally commented and we were talking about that book. So I was like, she's the only one. And then
which book? I zoned out.
Salty Bittersweet. It's like a YA story. Oh. And then the books I put, so I forgot to put a bad book and I just put 2 good books, at least 2 good books in my opinion. I put An Ember in the Ashes and then I put Piecing Together.
I told y'all whoever put Ember and Ashes on the list was smart because everyone was gonna assume it was Tahira because everyone knows that she loves that book. Smart.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of people in the chat that likes that book, so I didn't know who put it.
And then I put Piecing You Together, and someone got that book. I just don't know who.
It was Fatwa.
Miss Martin Monet, who I need to call mama here for that. Whose mama said you want to touch a book. Mama would let me buy new books. She would take me to the store with the books, and I couldn't get no books. Couldn't even go to the library. She would make me go sit outside in the sun because she know I didn't like outside. Go outside, go play. But you couldn't read, couldn't watch TV. Even today, she told me no new books. She's a mean lady.
So, aren't you grown?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Y'all see, she don't care. She came in and told me to go to sleep. Time to get off Zoom. Time to go bye-bye. Go to bed.
So she's about to get us yelled at. I was like, get off here before you give me yelled at. I'm sad.
They're in the chat like, did your mama say go to sleep? Why are you still in the chat?
And I oop.
Exactly. I hate it here.
All right.
Well, this has been fun. We all ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Are there any last minute questions?
So much.
Also, don't forget to join us next week for Such a Fun Age.
Yeah, we're not sure about the live show date yet, but we are reading Such a Fun Age.
And hopefully I will see some of y'all tomorrow for my live show at 3 p.m. CST, 4 p.m. EST. So it's been fun. We hope you all have enjoyed the book and the fact that we read the book. And we will see all of y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wait, did he just go off live? Did he stay in here?